50 years ago at the Golden Jubilee, and I'm marching all the way today.
This is our Woodstock 3, I guess. Letter carriers coming together, enjoying each other, celebrating with each other our 100th anniversary, our centennial year.
On August 27, 1989, over 5,000 active and retired members of the National Association of Letter Carriers gathered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin to celebrate 100 years of history and solidarity. They came to pay tribute to the 60 courageous men who had gathered above Schaefer's Saloon in Milwaukee on August 30, 1889, to form the NALC. They came to their birthplace to rediscover a tradition of unity and progress. There they would find the seeds of courage to face the certain struggles of the future. Participating in a 100th anniversary party unparalleled in labor history, NALC members would renew ties of friendship and common purpose. 4 days of events and festivities, 4 days to remember. From every state, big cities and small towns, they came with their families and fellow workers. At registration, they received souvenir bags with Centennial badges, hats, mugs, and the program of events. They could choose which day to see the musical play The Letter, an imaginative look at the history of the NALC. At the Centennial store, they bought souvenirs for themselves and those at home. At the Centennial Post Office, they could buy and have postmarked commemorative stamps. And the letter carrier bands came, 10 of them, from Dayton, Florida, St. Louis, Seattle, Cleveland, Memphis, Minneapolis, Pittsburgh, Salt Lake City, and of course, Milwaukee. They played at all the ceremonies and the parade, and they entertained day and night. At the end of the first day of registration, all celebrants attended a welcoming reception that included Milwaukee-style food and dancing, a time to relax and catch the spirit. The following morning, participants poured into Milwaukee's historic Bruce Hall for the Gala opening ceremonies. The program included speeches by national and international labor leaders, senators, congressmen, and of course, NALC officials, including many former and present national officers. The first speaker was former NALC President James Rodemaker, whose recent recovery from open-heart surgery gave his presence here a special significance.
And as I came out of the intensive care, I had a wild dream that you'll appreciate. I dreamt that I hung up my satchel and was getting ready to punch that eternal time card for the last time. I got my time card ready to punch it and go on to what I hope would be my eternal reward. As I was about to punch it, there was a voice that says, "Hold it." And I looked around and there was a 204B and says, "You're on overtime today, buddy."
Current NALC President Vincent R. Sombrato's speech covered the important milestones in NALC history.
60 men gathered in the fair city of Milwaukee some 100 years ago because they believed that in order to enhance what is the right of every working man and woman in the world, and that is to have a decent job at decent wages under safe conditions, so that they can raise their families to a better life, so that they can contribute to their community, wherever it is. They met because they believed in those principles. In 1920, letter carriers didn't have any sick leave. Letter carriers didn't have any pension, any annuity. And they said, this is not right. This is wrong. We're tired of being tired. We need relief. And in 1920, the civil service law was passed, and letter carriers, through their efforts, made it possible for all federal and postal employees to get retirement benefits and to receive sick leave. In 1970, when letter carriers in some parts of the country were forced to withhold their labor, to go out on strike, because the wages received were not adequate for them to raise their family, and many of them had to accept welfare so that they could provide for their families. And they said, "You can't do this to us. We won't allow it." And they withheld their labor in the largest strike this country has ever seen. And we won. Our predecessors have pointed the road. They have given us the direction. Let's get on with ending the first century and begin looking towards the next century. Thank you very much.
The excitement of the celebration was also captured in stunning visuals. The designer of the Centennial logo, Joanne Quinn, an active member of Branch 273 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, was introduced to the audience. Her winning design was used on all NALC materials and wearing apparel created during the Centennial. Lane Kirkland, president of the AFL-CIO, spoke eloquently about the importance of the NALC celebration.
Trade unionists are well served by anniversary celebrations. They give us an opportunity to review our progress and to look ahead in the context of our historic goals and ambitions. They enable us to renew our bonds of solidarity. Perhaps most importantly, they invigorate our fighting spirit by reminding us that the entire history of the American labor movement is a continuing chronicle of struggle against massive entrenched power. Our movements and the NALC's best days are yet to come. Of that I am certain. And now on to the next century.
The audience was treated to the long-awaited arrival of the Great Centennial Envelope. Mailed from Washington, D.C. on March 2nd, the envelope took a 6-month journey to every state in the Union and Puerto Rico. At each stop, it was stamped and postmarked during special ceremonies attended by Union representatives, Postal Service officials, and the public. A videotape of the 37,000-mile odyssey was shown to the Milwaukee gathering. The envelope was hand-delivered by Milwaukee Branch 2 members Ruth Ann and Daniel Bloomer.
How about a hand for these two letter carriers from Branch 2 for not only delivering for America, but for delivering for letter carriers and all of you. I hope when you leave Milwaukee that you bring back to your locals, to your branches, the feeling that you have generated here today, the kind of solidarity, the kind of fellowship, and the kind of belief and trust that you have in one another.
Solidarity, fellowship. These themes reverberated throughout a museum-quality exhibit of Union memorabilia and letter carrier artifacts that drew thousands of viewers throughout the celebration. There were almost 1,000 documents, photographs, vehicles, uniforms, and artifacts illustrating key events in NALC history. The items were donated or loaned by hundreds of individual members and NALC branches, libraries, and historical institutions. Centennial celebrants could feel their history come to life and experience the struggles and victories of their predecessors. Where the exhibit moved into modern times, participants could re-experience their involvement or share their part in the Union's history with family and friends. At another section of the convention center, attendees could become a part of history themselves by signing the Centennial Register. Nearby, they could view up close the recently delivered NALC Centennial envelope. But down at the Milwaukee Repertory Company's theater, a completely different kind of history was being made in the form of a toe-tapping musical entertainment. Presented by a professional cast 6 times over the course of the celebration to enable all the participants to enjoy it, The Letter is the story of the change of heart of a cranky, isolated, non-union letter carrier named Victor. Victor gets a lesson in Union solidarity on a trip through history in a highly unusual time machine. He's forced to deliver a letter to William H. Wood, the first NALC president. On the way back to 1889, he gets a first-hand look at NALC's struggles.
No mail, you better believe it. Let Nixon do what he may. Those boys
Struggles like the difficult but victorious strike of 1970. And he makes a timely visit to Fairmont, West Virginia in 1915.
Something brewing, Max. Something powerful.
This old man, 61, moves a little slower than when he begun, but he works every day. Then they pay the doggone. Then he takes the long walk home.
Suddenly, the time machine veers off course, and Victor gets a terrifying view of a possible future at the circus of privatization.
Water prices going up! Andy and Randy's double-digit express here, buddy boy. We speed your letter to its destination if it's got 2 of anything in the zip code. 2 2s, 2 3s, And check out our double trouble discount. Any double set of double digits. 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, 5 5, Double won't be toil and trouble with Andy and Randy's double-digit express. Got another quarter? I'm going mad. Step right up.
Affected by the struggles he has witnessed, Victor joins the NALC. It is a changed man, a union man, that finally meets Mr. Wood.
I see great things for your union. I see hundreds of thousands of members and a lifetime that will span beyond a century. I see headquarters in Washington, D.C. I see a 40-hour work week, 8-hour days, vacations, health benefits, retirement plans, cost of living adjustments, picnic.
Strange fellow. Wonder what a cost of living adjustment is.
August 29th was a day to walk in pride and solidarity. At precisely 1 p.m., an honor guard stepped down Kilburn Avenue, signaling the start of the Gala procession. Thousands of letter carriers followed. Many marchers sported special parade outfits and carried banners identifying their branch and region. At the end of the parade was the grand reward. Thousands of box lunches, kegs of brew, barrels of popcorn and pretzels, and music from swing to country to rock and roll. On August 30th, the last day of the celebration, attendees returned to Bruce Hall for an address by the Postmaster General and the dedication of a commemorative stamp.
Every significant event in the history of the United States has been marked by a stamp. It's a great pleasure to add to that honor roll a group of people whose dedication and service to America has been second to none. America's letter carriers have been called a national treasure, and I totally agree with that assessment. So I'm very glad to dedicate the letter carrier's commemorative stamp, to wish the NALC a happy birthday, and congratulations on your centennial.
Further underlining the significance of this dedication, President Sombrato and the Postmaster General attached the new stamp to the NALC Centennial envelope. At the end of the closing ceremonies, President Sombrato urged NALC members to enter the next century with pride and a sense of purpose.
Don't get tired when the struggle seems impossible. Don't bow your heads. Keep it up, knowing that as you look to your right and look to your left, there are brothers and sisters that are with you. And in achieving any goal, we will achieve it together. So I congratulate you on being here at the Centennial. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, but more importantly, let's go forward on into the next century, and let's do our job as we've always done it, with dedication and hope and the belief that we are what makes America strong. God bless all of you.
The ceremonies then adjourned so participants could attend the final event of the celebration, the dedication of a statue honoring letter carriers past and present. The task of Elliot Offner, an internationally known sculptor, was to create a fitting tribute to the letter carrier's central role in American life.
In honor of the men and women who have delivered a mail for America in rain and sleet and snow, and in tribute to their union, the National Association of Letter Carriers, founded across Plankington Avenue from this site on August 30th, 1889, dedicated on August 30th, 1989.